Hello! Welcome to Livestream today from Schattenstrategie. I'm going close to Ukraine and I want looking at an interview with Caolan Robertson and Salin. And we are just looking and I reacted of this because I think both sides have good arguments and I'm from the pro-Ukrainian side, okay? But the problem what I see on this interview is does Robertson go too offensive and go wrong in the interview because he go fucking contradictive. Why you do that? Why you have their void or something like that? Is nobody cares about your void in the end of the day. But the point is what is important. What this guy think. This is what the people want to see it. He won't see it. What is behind this man? And what is his argument, and what is his discussion, and how have the better arguments to this fight? Because give many pro-Russian assets something where you can fight against, but you need to have the right arguments. And this is the problem what I see from Robertson's interview. He not go really in this talk, and he just bring to between because I think it's not really our Russian asset. It's just a appeasement asset, and the pro-Russians asset is of today. And they try to make it appeasement because they stay in the middle from his philosophy. But the problem is that they fight too much against him and press the people in the wrong direction. So we are going in. I let the intro work, and yeah, then after the intro, I starting looking for you with you the video.
Record straight. There's no argument over the choice between peace and war, but there's only one guaranteed way you can have peace, and you can have it in the next second. Surrender. Admittedly, there's a risk in any course we follow other than this, but every lesson of history tells us that the greater risk lies in appeasement. And this is the specter our well-meaning liberal friends refuse to face, that their policy of accommodation is appeasement. And it gives no choice between peace and war, only between fight or surrender. If we continue to accommodate, continue to back and retreat, eventually we have to face the final demand, the ultimatum. And what then? Well, Nikita Khrushchev has told his people he knows what our answer will be. He has told them that we're retreating under the pressure of the Cold War, and someday, when the time comes to deliver the final ultimatum, our surrender will be voluntary, because by that time, we will have been weakened from within spiritually, morally, and economically.
Breaking all units, fire and clear.
So we're looking now the next video. Okay. Oops, that's the wrong one.
So you're saying
We're looking to these two guys. Okay. One is really pro-Ukrainian as a journalist who make really good videos about Ukraine and what happened there. And the other is a peacemaker. So he's a peacement politician. And the problem is he just forgot that behind him there stand different people. And the people who he attack, is my point of view, he attacked the people of the middle. And this is the problem, because I'm pro-Ukrainian, I'm really pro-Ukrainian, why I say this I make wrong, okay? So we go now in the interview and I reacted on this. And let me in the comment know what you think about these interviews, because I go in the next 11 days, I go to Odessa to show you what happened there and what building are destroyed and something like that, because I'm starting to make my content in English too, and German, and to show what the Russian attack, what the people thinking, and what is the point of view of the people on the right directly on the terrain. So you understand more about this conflict, because the point is you need just show what the Russian did to say what the Russian make shit. This is simple. And what he tries to argument with him, and in one way he putting him on a higher level, he putting all the people who are neutral now in the pro-Russian camp. And this is what I criticize of his interview, how he started.
There's no one looking into
and your only evidence, not
you're trying to derail this interview talking about Turkey.
No, but
I'm not interested in Turkey right now. Turkey could be another conversation.
But
today I'm
Turkey
talking about
very
Russia
like
because
Cyprus.
you're putting out Russian propaganda now, today. Why are you doing it? And you're avoiding my questions. You keep talking about Turkey. Turkey is irrelevant in this situation.
questions.
I'm not answering questions from you. This isn't your channel. Why do you support the kidnapping of Ukrainian children? Why did you abstain afterwards but vote for?
Okay.
This was from all the interview we did with him. This is the higher point. But why he not talking all the time about war crimes from Russia, and not only of the point? Because he tried to talk. You avoided that. You talk with Russia people. At the end of the day, this is a politician. It works, and when he make this of his side or not, nobody cares. What important is the people want what is about the war crimes, what he thinking about this, what is his arguments, because the people many can fight with him, but when you receive a good argument of his side, he can win people from his community for his community, because they have interest and view. This is something why not know, and so you fight the Russia propaganda really, because you just show what the Russia did, and not only yeah, we are fucking Russia, we are all is bad. No, the point is you need just show what he did bad, and not say they're all bad. No, say look, this the government there from Russia will decide to do this bad, and this is a shit. This is a war crime. Bucha was a war crime, 485 dead. Okay. No, blah blah blah, because I'm more normally coming the argument. So, no, Bucha, the Ukrainians have putting the dead people there. No, there are really people who are dead. We now have the satellite image, we have the confirmation and everything, and we have NGOs who confirm that. A couple of people, okay? Trusted people, and trusted informations. And this is the point. So you can argument against him when he never agree. I don't care, but the point is people have the right arguments and see that. And this is what is the better way to fight against a Russian populist or appeasement guy. For my side, it's more appeasement guy. It's not a really Russian pro-populist, but he's now putting on this figure and this pressing in now in the wrong direction. And yeah, he tried to ruin his political career, but in the same way he make the opposite. He help him his political career, because you're not bad news or good news in one way. You know how it works, marketing or something.
Some of the kids there, they might want to be.
What are you talking about? What do you mean they want to be? They are children that were kidnapped by Russia.
This was a good argument for him, but it was a strong point of Robertson, his side.
What do you mean they want to be? What on earth are you talking
A lot of kids, they want to return, and they should return if they want to.
What
I will
children?
not force
No. Where did you get that from? What children want to be returned, want to stay in Russia, and how do you even know that?
How do you even know that there is some children that they are happy with?
Because they have been
there?
kidnapped.
How do you know out of these 20,000 children, every one of them wants to return? They are not happy there.
This is ludicrous that you would say that children that have been kidnapped from their homes that have been bombed, want to be with their kidnappers and return. This is actually one of the most insidious things.
Yeah, this is a shit stuff for the Russian, and this is the right way. But Robertson, more from that and or from about what the guy did. Try to make a conversation, because nobody cares what he did. The point is what the Russian did and what is his arguments against them, what he tried to bring counter arguments, and so you can talk about a real fight against him, because you can say, okay, he says something, or when you not know the answer in this moment, because it's just so many different words, but you can make a research and then putting this inside the video in a moment, so you fight against him. This is the most important
things I've ever heard from someone.
And the people can then make a real picture and say, okay, this is talk shit, okay, I trust now more Robertson, but he makes so many errors in this interview.
Okay.
What the fuck are you talking about? You actually believe this? It's actually an evil thing to believe. And I've spoken to children that have been relocated back to Ukraine, and they were devastated. They had their identities erased, and you justify it by saying some of them speak Russian.
People are dying. People
who
are dying
killing those people?
every day.
And who's responsible for that?
And we need to put an
You
end.
can't say it. You can't say it.
We need to put an end to this war. And how we're going to put an end to this war? With how you...
With
Wrong mimic. Who did it? Who did it? Yes, so many people die. Smile. No. People dying. This is the right decision. Because maybe I say from my work, because I will make a similar work with him. But the point is, you need to touch the people, because the people listening, okay? And this is the important. Robertson, I hope you see that. It's all good for you, okay? It's processive, criticized from my side. The point is, this is just so we will fight the Russian propaganda within the world, because you need to have a dialogue with the people and bring them in the right way. Not the point is what you do it in the same way you slap the people under them who are neutral and they're putting them in the Russian camp. And this is fucking dangerous what he did. You have many good stuff, but the highest point where you have is in the end of the interview, not in the beginning. And this is the problem. And the people looking the most at the beginning, because after that, this is a fucking they have no good arguments. Here, he have one, okay? And then he go then, and everybody is then pro-Russian after this interview. It's a fucking good interview. What you as with him is the round is good, but the work we did, I see this dangerous.
Siding with the aggressor, which is what you're doing apparently. So you're obsessed with Ukraine. You talk endlessly negative shit about Ukraine, and you haven't been.
I've been to Ukraine.
Since the full-scale invasion?
No, I haven't.
Why not? You went to Russia. Why didn't you go to Ukraine?
I want to go.
Why haven't you? It's been 3.5 years.
I want to go.
Why haven't you?
I want to go, but to be honest, I'm a bit afraid. What we are doing with
Fidias,
answer the question. What we are
propaganda,
doing,
propaganda
what we are doing with
Russia.
Turkey and talking with them to solve the Cyprus
problem. I'm not talking about Turkey. I'm
but
here to
I
talk
am
about
talking
Russia.
about
but
Turkey.
This is my interview. This isn't your show. I'm asking you why you went to Russia and put out Russian propaganda. Entire weekend
you have any evidence
was
that
a celebration of the Russian military.
I'm paid by Russia? You don't.
I didn't say you're paid by Russia.
You
I said
don't.
you were an asset to
don't.
Russia, which you are. Fidias is a Cyprus MEP who's been tweeting constant anti-Ukraine Kremlin propaganda, and he's just come back from his trip to Moscow. It doesn't seem like he's been confronted directly before, not by a journalist. And that is why I've come here to Brussels, to find out exactly what his intentions are. And if you look at the content he's been putting out, it's basically repeating Kremlin press releases. And it appears like he's an asset to Russia. So I'm going to ask him why he's doing this and what his intentions are. Who paid for your Moscow trip and what did they buy?
Who paid for my Moscow trip?
Your trip to Moscow. And what did they buy?
Let's take this from the beginning. Hello, nice to meet you. My name is Fidias. I'm very excited to be here. You made a video about me.
I did.
And got millions of views. And you were saying that I'm a Russian asset.
You're an asset to Russia.
Wait in the comments, and what Fidias, right dude, is not go directly in the video, say first hello man. Calm down. Okay, we're just talking way. Make him not sympathetic, and the people will see that. Ah, okay, it's a fucking again asshole journalist. Sorry, and you disqualify in the first seconds of your own interview, Robertson. First, go respectful and go in the end of the peak. First respectful, bring a little bit atmosphere of nice, is good, and then attack him with arguments. And so, hey, what do you think about this? Yeah. So the people, okay. But no, this is other arguments against. Okay, yeah, makes sense. And when you defend these arguments, it's not this moment not problematic, because you can show the real information on a side picture, or you can really fight his arguments frontal. And the people can make a real picture about this. And first go low, go easy, because you are fucking... It's like you say a girl, not so go first a date and bring into the nice stuff. No, you go directly, let's fuck. And this is just... everybody hates you in the first 3 seconds. We will not know you, okay, Robertson? I know who you are. You're a really good journalist. What you did for your shorts are amazing. But this moment, what you did here, is fucking dangerous, because you fight really against him too offensive, okay?
Russia, based on what you're putting out, yeah.
Okay, what evidence you have for this?
I've spoken to multiple people that have raised concerns about you for a long time. I spoke to Christopher, who was a friend of yours that helped get you elected. He said that he feels regret and remorse about that he created a monster. He also believes that you've been putting out information that is an asset to Russia. If you put out disinformation and pro-Kremlin lines on a daily basis, especially from here, that makes you...
Thank you. Really nice that you write a comment, and yeah, Thank you. That's I hope you have a good stream, and thank you everybody who looks in the stream and react. It's just I try to react neutral. I'm pro-Ukraine, okay, but I hate the way Robertson work. Does not hate, but I not agree with his work, because in my way thinking in the mostly of this interview, he press the people on the Fidias, the people in his direction, as in the pro-Russian section, because he slapped so hard that the people move directly to the pro-Russian side, and I think he's more a peaceman guy. These other guys were neutral, but he think that is talking with Russia bring the peace, and you need to understand that the point is bring not peace, but you need to bring arguments why this not bring peace, and he's a neutral guy, but he think that is the fucking enemy of everything. Yeah. You're looking wired for.
You're a Russian asset, whether you're paid or not. So how do you respond to that?
Okay, so you made interviews from a lot of people, you said. The only two people I know from the people that you interview is the two people that I consider my biggest haters in Cyprus. So you interviewed
So what you're saying, they're wrong?
My biggest... No, well, we can talk. Let each other talk, and we can explain everything. So you interviewed the biggest haters of me, these two guys. The one is the reporter, and I made a podcast with him, and I named it My Biggest Journalist Hater.
Sure.
And this was another guy. We used to be friends, and then something happened politically, and we stopped being friends, and now he's attacking me politically.
Is what he's saying untrue?
It's profitable for him.
Is it true or not? It's a simple answer.
So you took the two people that are hating me in Cyprus, and you said that you have evidence. They told you that they have evidence that I'm a Russian asset.
But on top of that, the evidence is what you post.
This evidence?
The evidence is what you post on your feed. It gets millions of views and shared by pro-Kremlin accounts. That makes you an asset to Russia. You didn't go to Ukraine. You didn't go to any other
So you don't have evidence.
The evidence is what you posted on your feed, which is anti-Ukraine, which is Kremlin propaganda. But do you know what a Russian asset is?
So you don't have evidence.
Do you know what a Russian asset is?
So you said you did an investigation.
Anyone watching this can look at your feed and see the evidence. You've been repeating Kremlin lies and lies continuously. That is the evidence that you're a Russian asset.
You know, this is a lot of people. What is their opinion? They want peace.
This isn't an opinion.
They want to stop the war. So
but you don't want to stop the war.
Sachs,
you want to continue
professor of Columbia University, has the same opinion. John Mearsheimer, Elon Musk, a lot of people have the same opinion that they want.
Fidias, do you understand what a Russian asset is? Do you know what that means?
Explain me, please.
It is an asset to Russia. An asset because you're someone putting out their propaganda, one-sided propaganda. That makes you an asset to Russia. Why are you doing that?
My friend, it's different.
The problem is, I think, what he did in this moment, also Robertson, he go too like a policeman. You are this, or he tried to press Fidias in a way to say something in pressure. But the problem is with this way, because Robertson, not everybody knows you. But you see it is just a journalist who was really aggressive against one who many people have maybe sympathetic. And there are many people are, and I think Fidias is more in the camp, not maybe his beliefs, but he's in the camp for the people who are appeasement people, okay? And you need to give arguments why the appeasement is the wrong way to receive peace. And so you can fight really this policy of Fernandez, who is maybe pro-Russian. You need just have a real conversation. You need to have, okay, look, that and then you go really what the Russian did bad, and you can bring him. You have, in the end of the interview, bring him to say, yes, this is wrong. You say, yeah, you say the Russian invasion is a big mistake. Perfect. Bring him to say yes, 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 because the point is the people outside looking at that and they see, Fernandez agree with that, so you make your enemy to your friend, because everybody will see that, say, okay, this is really so. And then when you try fight against, then you can bring the real arguments. When you have not maybe the right argument in the moment, can happen. You can just bring a side picture. So look, here is the arguments or the research for the right stuff. So that people can believe it and will know it what you talk. And this is the most important. What you did, Robertson, in this moment, you are really really fighting. This is really I want bring good arguments. It's not you criticize. It's you make everything shit. You make in the end really good. In the end, you're fucking strong. But in the beginning, I will say it's really has too much in the offensive and too much. I slap you. So like yeah. You need to have a foreplay, okay? Make the people hot, okay? Bring both camps inside and bring the arguments so you bring the people in the right way. Because what you do is slap, and everybody think you're the bad guy because of slapping. Nobody see the argument. Ah, okay, no, you have good arguments, yeah, why you slap him? Okay, no. The problem is the people see just, this guy slap him, he's the bad guy, finish. That is the problem. What I see of this interview from your side. Because I'm pro-Ukraine, I go in Ukraine too. Then next 11 days, and I show the people what happened in Odessa, similar like work like you, but please looking that you are try to have next time a better conversation in both way, because in the end you're fucking strong, but you need to have all the time attack him with Bucha, with Odessa, with the children, everything. This is the best way to fight against Fernandez or the appeasement campaign you want.
Different for you to say that I say something that you disagree.
Okay, so you don't have an answer to this.
And it's different for you to say that I'm a Russian
Okay, I'll be more direct then. Who paid for your Moscow trip?
Okay, let's go into this conversation.
No, who paid for it? Did you pay for it?
Let's go.
Sally Brian, today's in English. I make before the live stream in German because I try to bring a little bit English audience in my channel too. But nice that you are here, Brian. And yeah. We have a good stream before, and when you like it, you can join it and plug in English. Yeah, and I hope you days were well too. Yeah, thanks that you are so long subscribers, because he was one of the first members of my channel. Thank you, Brian. This is so a fucking strong support. Thank you, Brian. That's Brian. Sorry, that's you do that. I forgot all the time I say Brian. I don't know why. Brian.
I paid everything with my own money in the Moscow trip, from my own pay.
And why did you do that?
And why did I do
Why
that?
would you spend your own money going to a Russian military celebration during an active invasion of the biggest country in Europe?
My friend, I didn't went to the Russian celebration
Do you know
of
what
the
VE Day
Victory
is?
Day.
It's a celebration of military
I
celebration.
didn't went to the Russian celebration of the military parade.
So where did you go?
So I went to. So you see, you have here a lot of wrong information.
Well,
First
no, this
of
is
all,
on your feed.
You
This is
said
VE Day.
based on some people that you.
This is good, Robertson, but bring this a little bit later. The first what the people see it is that you need bring the Russia first in a shit situation, and then say why you talk about this. But you go directly of the high point, and the people are not taught. You're just discussed it in this moment, and this is a really heavy problem. I hope, Robertson, you see that, because I want just criticize you in a good way, in a positive way, so we can do it next day. Because we are everybody in the same boat, we need to fight these arguments, but this is my point of view. The first rounds, the first 10 minutes, 20 minutes, you play more the pro-Russians in the hands, because you play a little bit asshole in this moment. Sorry for these words, but yeah. And the people thinking more that these are arguments who are not, because many people are neutral, and you need to understand, because you need the arguments and find the right way, and you need bringing them to the right way to bring the arguments. Because I love your shorts, because they bring so in short for information, so much good information, but here you are too comparative, so too typical journalistic, and the people are exhausted with this type of interview. Because nobody cares what you did, but then people won't know what you talk in this moment. Is the moment important, not what is before and what is in the future. Just looking that the people are interested in what he say now, and then bring good arguments against him. You need not make like a fighter pilot, boom and zoom. You need to go in a dogfight. You need to dance with him and win this fight. Because you have the good arguments. You need to fight against the Russians. Arguments is not hard, because you need just show what they do shit in the last, all the war crimes what they did in this war. And so you can fight against them.
Talked about that they are my biggest haters.
This is based on what you are posting on
you are saying
feed.
that I went to the Victory Day to
I didn't
celebrate
say you went to the Victory Day parade. You went to the Victory Day
and
parade.
I didn't went. So you have a
used
lot
the
of
word
false
VE Day.
information.
But this is what you posted.
You are posting.
You posted
You are posting
from Russia.
misinformation, propaganda.
What propaganda am I posting?
That fake information. I didn't went to the military parade. I'm telling you, you have any
The
evidence?
entire
You have
weekend
any evidence
was a
that
celebration of the Russian military.
I'm paid by Russia? You don't.
I didn't say you're paid by Russia.
You
I said you
don't.
were an
You
asset to
don't.
Russia, which you are. And you propagate Kremlin lines from that room, a seat in democracy in Europe, against a country, for a country, invading the largest democratic country in Europe. You are doing that every single day. This isn't my opinion, and it's not the opinion of the people that I've spoken to. This is a fact based on what you've posted on your own feed. Anyone can check this out. Why are you putting out Kremlin lies? Why did you use your own money to go to Moscow during Victory Day celebrations?
Okay, so this is a bigger thing. So first of all, Turkey, Turkey, the country, invaded my country 50 years ago, Cyprus. So it's a similar situation, what happened. So I don't see any...
So would you go to Turkey?
Wait. So with Turkey, we're trying to solve the problem with the Cyprus problem, with talks, with pistols, trying to make
I say nothing.
communication with the other side and to find compromise and solve the problem.
So why haven't you gone to Ukraine?
Wait, my friend. I think this is the right approach that we should try to stop the war now.
The point is, now he can maybe fight really good in this way, because he can say it. Okay, but who recommended, who say that the territory was in Cypriot? This is now Turkish territory. Give a country who say yes, because of peace, because a small peace. No, nobody say that. Okay, they go all time. I say for maybe. I hope really, Robertson, you listen that when you looking my reaction with your video. I want just to show it. The best way to fight Russian propaganda is show what you do shit. What is the consequence when you have not national integrity? Also that is okay, invade other countries to receive territory. What happened with the Russian politic when we say this is okay? Because this is how the real fight arguments against this. Because you need looking. We are in the last 30 years. We are so in appeasement world. We say, war is not good, border is not bad. You need to understand that why we need fighting just to have peace for the future, because the people want in the end of the day peace. But you need to say, okay, it's not okay invade the other country and occupy this land for your system, because the politicians say around the world, okay, the world says okay when he invaded that. Okay, maybe I invade my neighbor too to receive his territory. And then you have conventional army against conventional army, and then more war in the world. This is the shit. And this is what shit do in Russia all the time. Is this invading, okay? And this agreements where we did it, he fucked this, okay? Because he tried to push again. He fucked a little bit up, honestly, the Russian, but the point is just that he occupied the territory we have it, to say, these are now Russia territory. This is something who is really bad, and you can really fight an argument against this, okay? Because it's not okay, occupied countries, because they've been never again a politician asset to say, okay, I have my instrument, I can invade other country because I have the bigger army and I'm strong, okay? When you say this is okay, then you have a problem, okay? This is the main philosophic aspect against Eagle, or you're pro-Russian or Ukrainian. This is not okay. That's a country take other countries' lands without a real democratic void or something like that. This can be a democratic solution, but not in this way. Hallo, Atlish. Ich hoffe, dir geht's gut. Ich bin heute auf Englisch unterwegs, weil ich gerade in diesem Livestream für die englische Community reacted. Habe vorher auf Deutsch reacted, aufs gleiche Video einfach, dass ihr Bescheid wisst. Also wenn ihr es gerne auf Deutsch sehen wollt, guckt es gerne dort. Now I'm talking again English for my English community. Thank you that you are here and looking.
And try to have diplomacy. And that's what
And I like it to hear what you're thinking about my analysis or my thinking about this situation, because I want really learn about you, and I can maybe learn about the chat because you have different arguments, and this helped me really much. Thank you when you are right at me this in the chat.
I just said. I want to stop the war now and start doing diplomacy.
Your job isn't to do diplomacy from the European Parliament.
My friend,
That's not your
this
job.
is. If my job is not to do a diplomacy as a member of the European Parliament, then what
Multiple
is
MEPs I've spoken to in this building said, why on earth is he going to Russia? It has nothing to do with diplomacy. Do you accept that Russia invaded Ukraine and that they're the aggressor?
Yes, I accept that.
So why would you go to that country
but
and
also
put out
I accept
propaganda?
that Turkey invaded my country.
So would you have gone to
they are
Turkey
the
50 years ago and put out Turkish propaganda?
But I still speak, we as Europeans speak with Turkey to solve the problem.
50 years later.
Is something changed? They are not the aggressor 50
Russia
years later.
is actively putting bombs and missiles into Ukraine every single day.
And Turkey actively put bombs in my country, Cyprus, but we talk with them.
And would you put
as
out
European
Turkey
Union?
propaganda?
So you are saying that what we are doing with Turkey is wrong? That we are talking with them?
I think going to Russia and not doing diplomacy.
What we are doing with
Fidias,
answer the question. What we are
propaganda
doing with Turkey and talking with them to solve the Cyprus problem.
I'm not talking about Turkey. I'm here to talk about Russia. But this is my interview. This isn't your show. I'm asking you why you went to Russia and put out Russian propaganda. You didn't go to Ukraine and you didn't do any diplomacy. You put out propaganda.
You don't own the interview. We are having a conversation.
I invited you for an interview, but you're not interviewing me right now. I'm interviewing you.
Question.
Talking, as I said this before, just talking a little bit easy there. Just go a little bit, slow down, just talk easy. First, bring in the point why Russia is bad. Not say you was there, you are bad now. So you isolate him before the interview really started, okay? And so you have not a good conversation, nobody takes in, you're just an asshole in the end, Robertson. To first say, look, what do you think about Bucha? What do you think about Mariupol? What do you think about Odessa who shooting every day? So you bring in two arguments against him, and you can bring arguments because you say, yeah, Odessa, the Ukraine shoot too, but the Russian started earlier and the Ukrainian looking just of military targets, the Russia shooting regular civil targets, okay? So you have better arguments who fight for your side. But the point is so confrontative, this is so typical journalistic, so I'm know something, I'm activist. This is more activist, not journalism. This is the problem at the end of the day.
But my friend, this is what you are accusing me that I'm a Russian asset. I'm trying to explain you with some things that I think that I'm not.
You put out videos saying that Russia was entitled to take Ukraine because they speak Russian in some of those territories. That's from the Kremlin playbook.
I didn't say that they're entitled to take.
You said you quoted referendums.
I'm just saying that there is a lot of things that meet the eye that we don't consider.
No, there isn't. This is a cut and dry situation. Russia invaded Ukraine and they have no right to be there.
Russia invaded Ukraine, I agree, but there is a lot of things under this that we are underlook. We don't see the root causes of.
When you make the starting better, and we are now at this point, you have a much better terrain, but you fucked up in the beginning, really in the beginning. This is the problem, Robertson.
The problem.
The causes of the problem are Russia being an aggressive, expansionist empire.
Fidias, when you hear it, I like making an interview with you too. Maybe it's maybe a good one.
Is the aggressor, but we still talk as Europeans.
I'm not talking about Turkey. I'm talking about Russia.
I'm talking about Turkey because
you can talk about whatever you want. But right now, I'm asking you about Russia. I'm not talking about Turkey. I'm not talking about Cyprus. You went to Russia recently.
So you disagree that everyone here in the parliament wants to have diplomacy with Turkey.
I'm not talking about Turkey. You're trying to derail this interview talking about Turkey. No, I'm not interested in Turkey right now. Turkey could be another conversation. Today I'm talking about Russia because you're putting out Russian propaganda now, today. Why are you doing it? And you're avoiding my questions. You keep talking about Turkey. Turkey is irrelevant in this situation.
So,
The problem is, Robertson, you have arguments against what he said. Nobody recognized the territory was captured from Turkey in the world, and this is why Cypriot all the time have actually right of this. Nobody recognized the territory was occupied of Turkey. And this is the point where you can say, yeah, but nobody recognized this. Is this true? And then you say, yes, yeah. The same what I want is for Ukraine. Nobody recognized that's the territory where Russia captured. No, it's legal. Okay, so you bringing the arguments back that you can maybe invade another country, but you never receive a recommend or nobody recommend that you capture this territory. That's make this no worthful. Nobody cares. Okay, yeah, you captured, no, but we don't care because they are still Ukrainian. And then it's more fucked up because in the end of the day, when somebody say I come from Cypriot, yeah, I'm not proud, yeah, you're Cypriot. Nobody recognizes that says Turkey now because they're Turkey and invaded. This is the most important point.
you said you have evidence.
On your feed.
So all this stuff that you said that I interviewed all these people.
Sure.
And I have investigated and I have evidence.
My conclusion is based on everything that you've posted and based on a few interviews,
So-
but mainly what you've posted, that you are a Russian
Oh,
asset.
you said now, based on few
That's no different to how I started this
interviews.
interview. No, it isn't. It's no
On
different.
few interviews.
You put
My-
out Kremlin
My
propaganda on
biggest
a daily
haters.
basis.
But by the way, I'm enjoying this. That's why I'm here. This is beautiful. This is your right to.
No, this is really serious. You brought this entire
This is
parliament into disrepute. You have.
This is your
put out-
right to attack me. This is my right to express my mandate as I want. And you are doing your job, and I'm doing my job.
Is
and
all of this a joke to you?
And this is beautiful because this is democracy. No, having diverse opinions is
But you
not.
have no interest in
is
democracy.
Is not a joke.
But you have no interest in
How-
democracy
how
because
do I
you
don't
shield
have-
for Russia, who jail journalists, who throw everybody who criticizes the state in prison, who have phony elections, and then you say you care about democracy. How is that caring about democracy in any way? Russia is the opposite of every single thing this parliament
What
stands
is
for.
democracy? Define democracy.
The opposite of Russia. Elections, freedom of press, freedom of information, freedom of speech. None of those things are allowed in Russia.
Democracy is citizens deciding for how they want to
And you
be
think that's
led.
the case in Russia?
You know, my friend, 70% of the people of my country, Cyprus,
I'm not talking about Cyprus right now.
elected me. I'm from Cyprus. They elected me. They voted for me. I was the most voted person in Cyprus. And they elected me. And they want to normalize relationship with Russia.
No, they don't.
They do.
The people
They
of
do.
Cyprus
Of
generally are
course.
not interested in
My
normalizing
friend,
Russian
you
relationships.
can go not only check all my videos and the thousands and hundreds of thousands of views.
Okay, you say no. Okay, avoid blah blah blah. The point is, it just try now. What Fidias try to do it is moving away from the Russian point. When you have not so comfortive attack and say, hey, yeah, look, I know we need talking about Cyprus, but yeah, come, this is more important now. So he can fight him more. The people don't care about what is the past, what is the future. He care what he say now. And you need looking that he say words will play in your hand. And you need looking, Robertson, when you listen that, he say yes, 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 yes. So you fight his arguments against him. So he cannot attack you because he need all time agree what you say it. Because he cannot say that Bucha is a fucking lie. No, this is true. Everybody knows. Just the Russians say that this is a lie, but no, this are really true. That this was the Russians who killed the people, 458 people. Okay, and this is the point. What you need to find against immunity in bringing in defensive with arguments was the Russian did shit. So the people say, okay, I more understand it. And yeah, now we're talking about politics and everything because politics way is a democratic. Is his terrain, so he can say I'm elected. Yeah, what? Okay, he just clear Russia is not a real freedom elected person, because 94% vote. Can nobody tell me that this is a normal vote? And yeah, this is the problem what happened in Russia right now. Yeah.
Views and likes and comments on the videos that I post, but also see the polls of what the public opinion, not only Cyprus, but also Greece, that I speak Greek, the 65 to 70% they want to normalize relationship.
I'm not talking about Turkey or Cyprus right
with
now.
Russia. So my job as a member of the European Parliament representing those people is to try to normalize relationship with the European Union and Russia.
Putting out propaganda is not diplomacy. It is putting out propaganda.
Propaganda is
that the
oblast to start discussing, to start diplomacy.
But that's not what you're doing.
Propaganda.
That's not what you're doing, though.
This is what I'm doing. Everything.
You are repeating Kremlin press releases.
Every video that I say we need to start discussing. We are mad that we are not in the table of discussions as Europeans, but we had the opportunity to discuss and we declined. So we need to start talking.
You're under investigation right now from this parliament. What are they going to...
You need just say nationality integrity is the main point, why we cannot accept that, and is this okay when you invaded another country that everybody agrees that he captured your territory? And then he say no, and so you bring him in the defensive. Because what you bring him all the time on Fernandez's side. Yeah, I like to have conversation, I like to peace, because peace sounds so sweet. But the problem is peace, you need normally fight for peace, because the guy who want to have a peace or a good relationship, he need respect you. When he don't respect you, he bring that he respect you, okay? And when you don't respect of the other side, then he just fucked up, because you say Russia all time fucked up Donald Trump, because Donald Trump say yeah, my peace talk, this time really, yeah. And Trump is all time yes. And so the Russian can play a playbook and can looking that the sanction go more behind, and this is the shit. And European can say, look, we can agree because we can make sanction on China, but we please make sanction on Russia before, so we have a trust level, because we lose a little bit trust in you, Donald Trump, with this argument that USA won't have Greenland and Canada. So you can talk. This is the real way to talk about politics anyway. But bring him, just say yes, no, and so you control him. But would you let him too much about talking democracy, and so in the end of the day you're just an asshole journalist who try to fight him but have no good arguments. You have not two voices, clear. It's not many guys who are now looking my live stream, but two guys say finance wins, and I'm pro green. I'm really on your side, Robertson, but come on.
Going to find.
I'm not under an investigation.
As of last week, they said they've opened an investigation.
Who said so?
A press release.
Show me.
You can Google it after this interview. I'm telling you that's the case.
Please.
So what are they investigating?
They're not officially investigating.
They said they're looking into your Russia trip.
You see here, my friend, you are
also,
just here repeating a lot of lies. You said you have
so
evidence.
You're saying there's no one looking into it.
And your only evidence is that my videos,
which are cut and dry Russian propaganda. Fidias, I know this is a joke to you. I know this is a joke to you.
This is so beautiful.
This
is what democracy is. It's amazing.
No, this is undermining everything about Europe.
Your job for you to do it and for me to do it.
Why haven't you been to Ukraine if you care so much about democracy?
I've been to Ukraine.
Since the full-scale invasion?
No, I haven't.
Why not? You went to Russia. Why didn't you go to Ukraine?
I want to go.
Why haven't you? It's been 3.5 years.
I want to go.
Why haven't you?
I want to go, but to be honest, I'm a bit afraid, because what I'm posting some people find it aggressive, but I want to go. So I started with other MEPs looking into it to go also to Ukraine.
Why haven't you gone? You seem so interested in Ukraine. You seem to talk constantly about Ukraine and Ukrainian politics, about Russian-speaking people in Ukraine.
I'm telling
you haven't been. Why?
Recently, I've been to Russia. I was also
but you didn't go to Ukraine?
To Russia. About Russia all the time. So I'm looking into it with other MEPs.
I don't think you have any interest in going to Ukraine, because you would have done it by now. You're obsessed with Ukraine. You talk endlessly negative shit about Ukraine, and you haven't been.
By the way, I consider that I love the Ukrainian people, and that they want also to end this war as soon as possible.
The Ukrainian people are disgusted with your content. Does that surprise you?
You know, I spoke with a lot of Ukrainian people, and they are not disgusted with my content.
Overwhelmingly disgusted with what you've been putting out at all levels of Ukrainian society. I know because I live there and I ask about it all the time. And I look into it, I read the comments. Why are they so outraged by your content?
My friend, I say what I believe. It's up to the people to interpret and decide if they like it or not. My job is not to be liked. My job is to do and act according to my beliefs in the European Parliament and
Okay, so
exercise
about
my
those beliefs,
mandate.
you put out videos saying that the oblasts that speak Russian should have referendums, and you quoted fake referendums that are done at gunpoint. Why would you reference that and quote that? This is clearly lies. Do you think in Ireland, because they speak English, that Britain should take it back?
I'm saying, my friend, that
Now I have a good argument against him, and he's silent.
there is a lot of things that doesn't meet a lot of deeper things here. For example,
Well, clearly you're not interested in finding out what those things are because you don't want to go
for
to Ukraine.
example,
Because why now Fernandez thinks so? Because he thinks that the people in Donbass was volunteered to go to Russia and Crimea. And this is now a fight. No, the problem is why are there Russian soldiers on the side? When you want to have a really free election, you need to have the UN who have really observe these votes. Okay, you have every vote. You have people of an international who really looks, or is this voting go right or not? So you can accept that this vote really it's a free point. And the Russia have need before return the troops away from Crimea. So we said, okay, you want to have a vote? No problem, we can make a vote in Crimea. But first you please moving your troops out, and then we can make a neutral UN take this capture. No Ukrainian, no Russian troops can be there. The UN troops come there, and we make the election and say, yeah, no, this is a vote for Ukraine or the vote for Russia. This can be legal, but what Russia did, this is not legal because you have invaded your other country and make this election pressed. And nobody believes this election anywhere, in any case, or is this right or not? But I think it's not the right. There are fake these elections, but just that you have a really understanding how can you make the election. First, need putting the Russian troops out. You can say this is now a neutral as a buffer zone for the time, and the people make election on the time, neutral, the region can say yes, no, and when they say no, the Russian need to accept it, and the people say I want to run Russia. Okay, they need to accept it, but the point is just you need first have real election with a neutral organization. Not from one out of the honor. And so long if one of the honor is there, nobody believes that. The honor side, no, this is wrong because you manipulated. But when you have a neutral force in the territory, then everybody believes that because this force have no interest in to capture that. They are just temporary there to fix the freedom. But Russia will not did because Russia won't occupy it, and this is the problem of all this shit. But this you need to have with finals a real conversation and say, look, this is the point. You agree it. And what you say, finals, in this moment? Yeah. And then you fucked him. Or he come with a fucking argument. No, finals, you know this is true. No, you know. He didn't make a small smile, so a cool smile. And then he said, okay. Because he lose a battle, okay? A conversation battle. Because he is silent when he have good arguments, and this is a weak point of finals talk.
Ukraine's NATO that wanted to be partners, that wanted to enter into NATO, Russia saw this as an existential threat that to have military bases of NATO next to their borders. So there is, and this I believe is a United States war that they started it.
To NATO, you need send a CV, okay? Also you need say, I want to go to NATO, you join to NATO. But you not come to NATO automatically because the NATO expanded, no. You need say, I want to join to NATO, why you join to NATO? Because of Russia mostly, and the people need to accept that, and this is point. That's what the Russians like to say. It is so. Yeah, no, we have agreement that the NATO cannot move to east. The only agreement was that's the atomic weapon not moving to east. The atomic weapons stay all the time on the same place till 1990. Okay, because what the Russians say, yeah, Ukraine is so dangerous because the atomic weapons can be so close to Russia and they're faster. Well, you won't have atomic weapons. We can in the Baltic states we can putting their atomic weapons and they have no chance to react. But the first who moving the atomic weapons in a different direction was Russia. We're putting this in Belarus. Actually, the Russian broke in this case first agreement from don't move atomic weapons to east or to west, and the Ukrainian give the atomic weapons away because the Russians say we say you territory, we accepted that as your own. Now the Russia tried to say no, it's not true, but the problem is it's a fucking lie for the Russians, okay? These are arguments against this NATO, but you need to have arguments and directly fight against these arguments. So no, this and this and this. And then you make a side picture, Zach, will have all the arguments, or prove it, your arguments directly, okay? So he's fucked and he cannot argument against because this is typical and you just let him talk and say, yeah, no, it's not now important. No, you need to have arguments against this because the people are looking you or you're neutral or not.
Or that they provoked it.
This is Kremlin garbage. This is the same stuff that in 2014 people said about the Maidan revolution. It's complete garbage.
Don't say it's garbage. Just say, no, this is the royal story, here, here, and here, and I make on the side my provements. Better, Robertson, better. Not say garbage. Garbage, no, everybody say, I don't listening to him either, okay? All the conversation is fucked up. Nobody listening more. Just you have your fans will say, yay, and your haters say, boo, and you have, I think after that, more haters we friends. Because Robinson, you make fucking amazing work with your shorts and everything, but interviews needs a little bit more learning how to do it.
My friend, having the same opinion.
Or make maybe a live stream, Robinson, but you so you're learning arguments against this shit because it's the best training against this.
Some stuff that Kremlin has doesn't. This is you are able to believe whatever you.
Oh, this is like being
here.
in Nazi Germany and saying, well, actually, Germany has a right to do this, and quoting stuff that comes out from the German parliament. It's no different.
My friend, I'm explaining you. I have this. There is a lot of more deeper things that meet the eye here in this conflict.
In Ukraine, it's pretty simple. Children being kidnapped, bombs going into residential buildings every single day, and Russia unfairly and unjustifiably doing that. And you just can't accept that.
And people are dying. People
and
are
who are
dying
killing those people?
every day.
And who's responsible for that?
And we need to put an end.
You can't say it. You can't say it.
We need to put an end to this war. And how we're going to put an end to this war? With how you...
With siding with...
Look, Robertson, bring in, say yes, yes, yes. And you agree that Putin is dead. And then you can say yes, no, or maybe someone... Really. This was a strong moment for you, but... you go too quick. Maybe one line more so you have him a little bit more in a trance, okay? So he's more comfortable, but he's all time in defending his own position that he not feel comfortable to go out of his line to have maybe a win, because it's all time a battlefield where you have council push forward, and you need just overcome in the end, or in all, look, you need to go in a one fight, 1-to-1, okay? So, and then you overcome in the conversation, and this is the most important. Because I'm pro-Ukraine, really much. Robertson, you can do better. But I know this interview bring you much more reach because everybody talks now. But he have from you now a picture that's, sorry to say that, but the Ukrainian extremist will not let the other party talk because give many people in behind it. The appeasement guy people, and he is pro-Russian, but he is in the appeasement camp, and now the people who think this appeasement go now in the Russian camp because of the shit.
Which is what you're doing apparently.
So, with how do you propose it's been 3 years, hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians die, and this will not put an end. With whoever.
You can put an end. You need just yeah. You can put an end when the European really go up, losing the threat of Russia, because Russia all time say yeah we bomb you with a nuke, we bomb you with a nuke. The point is say look, when you bomb with a nuke, we can bomb either with a nuke. When you have this response, the Russians are, what? Okay, we can putting the nukes closer. Look, Russia, move your troops out, or we move the atomic weapons closer. So you need talk. Then Russia listening quick, because you can say it, Russia, we can putting the atomic weapons closer to EU borders than you are the EU atomic weapons to our borders. Okay, we can putting there on the Baltic states, and then they are in 2 minutes in St. Petersburg. Putting your troops out. This is the way how Russia talk and how you need talk. Sometimes you need escalate it to de-escalate it, okay? Because you need, sometimes you look, yeah, when you have somebody who is crazy, you need printed him that you are the same level crazy to bring this sometimes down. Say, hey man, I can be so crazy like you. And when you don't believe it, just bring the atomic weapons a little bit closer. Because you, and then when the Russians say, hey, you move the atomic weapons, you move first the atomic weapon in Belarus. You fucked first this agreement. So why now we're putting the atomic weapons closer? So you need talking. The people understand it more. This is the point. This is the way to fight against the Russia diplomacy was fucking wrong and fuck all up. But the problem is, why is Russia so strong right now in the diplomacy? Because the West has no balls. We have fucking no balls, the politician. All time, yeah, peace talks, peace talks, peace talks, peace talks. Fuck it! We're coming closer to and closer and closer to a fucking war because nobody have balls to bring one time the Russians down on this, really on the earth. Because they learn something, the Russians, okay? All time when you're talking about atomic weapons, the Western world say, no, please not, don't say so. Fucking Russian, we have atomic weapons too. Yeah, we have more. Yeah, but we can putting it close to your fucking border, and the atomic weapons can reach in 2 minutes. How close you can putting the atomic weapons? Then the Russians thinking twice, okay? So Tom's, we need to like to talk and say, look, move your troops or coming a really peace talk, and they give you fuck when, and then when you not do it, then you receive sanction or putting the atomic weapons closer. So Russia understand, and you can make more weapons and say, look, Russia, how long will you stay? How high come the fabrics, and you lose this war in Ukraine? Because what the Russians try to do it is a fight who have more resources. But okay, the Ukraine have less people. This is why people in Ukraine try to care more of their own people. But Ukrainian have theoretically the Western industry behind him. And the Western industry is bigger like the Russians. So long the Chinese not joining in the industry, the Russians are fucked. They have maybe so small pieces, but they send the pieces to China, to Ukraine too. This is the point. But you need really pressure Russia right now with real politics, not this. And this is I criticize the politician too, where we have it, because they are fucking no balls. Fucking go in offensive, okay? Offensive.
And you think siding with Russia is doing it?
Whoever the approach you want to have is not working because we don't have an end. So we need to find alternative
But that
solutions and
doesn't mean
start
anything.
having
This is
diplomacy.
empty. It's empty. This doesn't mean anything. Russia's the aggressor, and siding with them is a complete waste of time. But that's what you've been doing, and I don't know why you've been doing it.
And this
I don't know
is
whether you're being
beautiful.
paid.
You can say whatever you want. I can say whatever I want. It's up to the people to interpret who they believe.
I think people can make up their own
So
minds pretty easily, especially your refusal to... No, because you're not asking me questions right now. You're not asking me questions right now. If you'd like to interview me...
Cyprus. How did you choose these
If you'd
two
like,
people
we can
in
arrange an
Cyprus?
interview on your channel, but right now this is my channel, and I'm asking you the question.
Thank you, Wolf, for the fucking big support. Also, you're amazing how you support. I think all the Ukrainian project is out you support not possible. Also, really thank you, Wolf, for the really big support. Make please everybody a heart for Wolf inside this in the chat, a heart, okay? Thank you.
Questions. right now.
How did
Why
you
didn't you go to
conduct
Ukraine?
your interviews?
I'm not going to talk about my thesis and how I put my film together. Again, if you want to ask me questions, I can go on your
with
channel.
the two biggest haters of mine, and you don't consider this as as biased interview.
Why do you support the kidnapping
You don't
of Ukrainian
answer
children?
these questions.
I'm not answering questions from you. This isn't your channel. Why do you support the kidnapping of Ukrainian children? Why did you abstain afterwards but vote for?
Okay, we can get into this. So
now we have a good point. Now he is in defensive, and I say, shit, I won't. Look, I say, oh, now we're coming again in this. Because he know now it's a shit position because he cannot talk. Now you bring in defense. This is his fucking weak point. Fucking fight him with these arguments. Do just say what the Russian did shit. This is why I go to Odessa, to show it the people what the Russian do shit. What he bombarded. Their civil apartment. Their church we bombarded. And something like that, okay? So why I go there to show it, and every night you have this night alarm of air attacked. So people understand it, what the Russian attacked or what the Ukrainian reached to defend it with their air defense. This is what I want show the people in Odessa, and this is what I want show it in the world. Confirm him with the shit what Russian did, and so he cannot say is good or bad. Nobody cares about his election or what he elected or something like that. He cannot go to offensive. Bring him with these arguments to defense. Is how simple it is in the conversation.
For everyone to understand, it was a vote about bringing back Ukrainian children that from the conflict on the war. That was.
But I understand about this finance. Everybody is for him, and Robertson not for you.
In the.
Should they be returned? Should they have been kidnapped?
I agree that they should return, but
you agree that they should be returned?
Yes, I agree.
You didn't vote that way.
But let's talk.
So why didn't you vote?
Let's talk about it. So,
I'm asking you.
So this, I did the research. The parliament provided us with two citations to the research that one was from Zelensky. It was the website that Zelensky created, and the second was a Yale University study that I think the Biden administration funded.
Oh, so you think it's fake?
And I think that they over-exaggerate the situation, but with the data that I had, I went and voted against. But then I voted after I thought that only 4 people voted against this.
So you think it's exaggerated?
Wait. After four people only voted against this, I did exaggerated, weaponized to weaponize Russia, and that will create exactly the opposite thing that I want for diplomacy.
But Russia is guilty of this. Of course it should be weaponized.
So
absolutely, they kidnapped tens of thousands of children.
I saw that only 4 MEPs voted, 3 in total, about this, and I went, we have the right as member of the European Parliament to go and change our votes 2 hours after. So I went and voted abstention.
But why didn't you say yes?
A lot of other MEPs, I don't know, 30, 40 other MEPs. So all the other 30, 40 MEPs, they are Russian assets.
You voted. I'm asking about you.
I'm
not interviewing them right now.
Abstention.
Why didn't you condemn?
The point is, he voted left or right or up and down. Nobody cares in the end of the day. Maybe when he blocked, yeah, okay, you're not agree with, but this is something a personal view from you, Robertson. The point is, bring him the defensive. I say you again and again and again. Bring him in defensive with real arguments. Why the Russian do Bucha? Why the Russian do Mariupol bombarded? Why he bombarded or righted there our children? Why he did that? You agree that this is a shit, or? Yeah. And so you fucking finance. But not in this way, man. Not in this way. In this way you fucked more yourself in the end of the day, because you just bring maybe many attention of you, but nobody take you seriously. When I see your different content, because you have, Robertson, you make I say you again, amazing content about what Ukrainian politician, what you see it, because he was in Kursk and everything. this is really amazing, and this is really the work. That's why I want similar. You inspired me a little bit on this way for you work to do the similar for the German community. But go more in offensive and say just what the Russian did shit. How simple it is.
Kidnapping of children.
So all these 40 other MEPs, they are Russian
I'm not talking
assets.
about other MEPs right
But
now.
I
I'm asking
voted
you
the
why
same
you
thing.
abstained.
All the other 40 MEPs, they are Russian assets.
But you just told me, actually, you agree they should be returned home. So why didn't you vote that way? And why do you think it's exaggerated?
Because from the sources that I had and the time that I had to research, I thought that I shouldn't vote for
So
this.
you should be more informed before you vote, right? I mean, that's meant to be your job, not just memes, not just
But
likes.
I
but
read
actually
the sources,
investigate.
I read everything.
Oh shit, sorry. Putting the wrong
Videos
tab.
that look into.
Who cares? Because look, not every politician write everything. Because this is something, yeah, you not read the information. Ask the different politician, or we read everything what he avoided. I receive every time in Switzerland so much letter. I read everything? No. Do it just simple. Attack him on the board in Ukraine and not about the European Union. Attack him in with the Russian shit what he did, and this is the best way. So you fight against Russia propaganda, because the people see that in finance. It's now we have here 3 votes for finance. Of course, because the people see more sympathetic and more democratic way of thinking on him, not in you. You're just a policeman who try to confirm him what he did in his job. But nobody cares. And nobody are... So the people of the camp where you attack it, nobody cares this. Attack him for really the arguments what Russia did, because so he needs to say yes, and when he say yes, you have won all the conversation.
Relocating and bringing back those children. Why didn't you look at any of their work? Why did you focus only on the Biden administration and the Zelensky administration?
This is what the parliament provided me. This was the citations that the parliament provided me. So I had to look into what they wrote it and how. So these 2 citations that I looked into them, I read them, and I thought that the evidence, maybe they're biased.
So you agree Russia is guilty of kidnapping tens of thousands of Ukrainian children and they should be returned?
I think there is a lot of children. I'm not, because they said 20,000. Because they said 20,000. Because some of the kids there, they might want to be.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, this is him. Yeah, this is he's a YouTuber and they make many stuff on Instagram. Yeah, sometimes good stuff. They explain sometimes really good how the European Parliament works. A really good insider. Looking of what you want to see from a good politician, and yeah, and is independent. This is why he can have different views of different way. And from my point of view, okay, when I have my neutral looking, I see him not so pro-Russian. Yeah, clearly with Moscow and something, but I see more him as a appeasement guy. Okay, he tried to make appeasement at all costs, but he not know how real peace comes, because the politician of his generation, because he's of this generation, he never confirmed with real war. And this is the problem of this point of view. And this is why, okay, it's now we have 1 war for Robertson. Really nice. Okay. Because I'm on Robertson's side, but I criticize what he did what he not do good, because when I make this interview with finance, I make different. I like to make it the interview more him to confirm him what Russia did bad, so he needs to say yes. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, this is true. Yeah. The invasion is shit. Yeah. So when you bring him to that, so he's maximal defensive. He cannot go attack.
What do you mean they want to?
Then he cannot go left or right. He need just to. Russia did that, yes? Yeah. Then you have good.
They are children that were kidnapped by Russia. What do you mean they want to be?
But thanks, you make a vote for Robertson too, because I like it when the people have a different view. And right, why you think Robertson win this interview?
What on earth are you talking
A lot of kids, they want to return, and they should return
Because it's all time a battle. Everything is a battle in the end of the day.
if they want to.
What
I will
children?
not force.
No. Where did you get that from? What children want to be returned?
This is a fucking good Robertson. This is what I want to see in the beginning. So he have not way to defend himself. This is what is the strongest part of your interview, is this moment where you just say, what is with the children who are deported from Russia? And then give more. If the Russian now, the Ukrainian need, were living now in the Russia-occupied territory, need leave the country when you not won't have the Russian passport, so you can fight really against him, because this is a genocide when you so want. So you're killing the nationality really of this nation, and this is something where you can really fight. And this is really the strongest point of all your interview, Robertson, is this moment. And this is from my side. Wow. Before, we can do better. More for that, and you're fucking off the best interviewers of the world, okay? Do more of that. Bring him in the defensive, so he needs a yes.
Want to stay in Russia, and how do you even know that?
How do you even know that there is some children that they are happy with?
Because they have been
being there?
kidnapped.
How do you know out of these 20,000 children, every one of them wants to return?
Because
They're
this
not
is
happy there.
ludicrous that you would say that children that have been kidnapped from their homes that have been bombed, want to be with their kidnappers and return. This is actually one of the most insidious things I've ever heard from someone.
Okay.
What the fuck are you talking about? You actually believe this? It's actually an evil thing to believe. And I've spoken to children that have been relocated back to Ukraine.
So he needs to be silent. I can now say it, and this is where you've went the territory. Problem is for this all this your interview is this is in the end the good part, and this is the problem.
And they were devastated. They had their identities erased. And you justify it by saying some of them speak Russian. Well, a lot of people in the East speak Russian, but every single one I've spoken to, and I spend a lot of time in the Donbass, are doing everything they can to get the Russian army out of Ukraine.
I love the way that you attack me.
I'm just telling the truth. You have no answers to this.
Truth is something.
This is why I love it. Bring him more in this situation, Robertson. More in this situation, so everybody respects you. But I'm sure this interview bring a lot of attention, so people know your name now.
Not always. You have your truth. I have my truth. We need to. There is a.
No. There's not my truth and your truth. There's the truth. The truth.
Really good. This is the strong point. This you make really good.
But Russia started this war.
From here, my side, salute. This is what you need to go.
And the truth that those kids are kidnapped.
A lot of times the truth is evolved with the data.
No, it isn't. That's a fact. Those children were kidnapped. That's
anyway.
Fact.
So I explain you the way how I voted. I voted abstention on that.
Because you didn't have enough information. It seems like you treat this entire place like a meme, like a joke, like you did on your Prankster YouTube channel. You don't do enough research for any of the topics that you vote on.
Okay, that's your right to believe. But, you know, I believe that, honestly, I'm doing more research about voting maybe than everyone in this house, because maybe on the top 10 out of the 720 MPs, because I'm independent and I don't have a political group to give me the voting list and to tell me what to vote. So I research every single vote, me and my team, and we debate about everything.
No, you said you just read something from the parliament. Why didn't you do any more investigation into that? You said that you just looked at the
on
sources.
that week we voted 500 things, and to spend my team 1-2 hours to do that investigation, and for me to spend 1 hour debating about this, it's plenty of time for us to decide something. And we do this for each vote, for 500 votes that we have. So I think this is very, very good job that we are doing on debating and voting and I don't think anyone else here does much research for what they vote.
Well, you've done clearly no research about Russia and Ukraine.
And I have the right to believe what I believe with.
Look, this moment where you try to say it, and this is what the moment he coming in defense of, look, do you think so? But you think that's the route, and then it's so, okay, I can say so, but the audience can make their own decision. Will he make one time in a moment right? The audience decide who have right or not, okay? And then when you have maybe bring Bucha, and you bring Mariupol, the destroying of Mariupol, how it captured, what he make with Ukrainian prisoners, and something like that. So he's really in defense position because you have no good arguments against this. Because when a Russian soldier shoot Ukrainian soldiers down who are giving up and surrender, you make a fucking big mistake. And he can nothing good say. Everything what he say in this moment is shit. Shit. Because he's a fucking... Then he say, I supporting murders of surrender soldiers. I supported that. Because, so, you not really bring him, you elected this or elected this. Nobody cares this in the end of the day. They cares how he think about war crimes. And when he say every war crime is relative or he not have arguments against this, so you fucked him up and he lose this argument too. This is why so I let now all in the live stream working on the voids, and the most voids go for finance, not for you, Robertson. Looking that you are coming strong in this way, the end of the interview, this is what you need to make better next time when you have a person like him in front of you. Fight him with war crimes, what Russian did. That's how simple it is.
Limited time and also limited information that I have.
The information that you've been putting out and the propaganda you've been putting out is all sided to Russia, all of it, including what you did with your stats about Russian speakers, including what you talk about with the peace and diplomacy. And you've done no research into what's going on in Ukraine. And you say that you've been looking into going, but it's been 3.5 years. You're obsessed with Ukraine and you haven't been, which is pretty easy to draw a conclusion that you're completely uninterested in peace. You don't even want to condemn the aggressor. Again, if this was 1945, you'd be siding with Hitler, who invaded countries around it, and say that we need it through diplomacy. These are all facts.
So I bring a little historical context. The point is the appeasement party bring actually the Third Reich on the time more powers. Okay, the point is yeah, we need to make peace. Yeah, we give him that. Yeah, we can understand this. Yeah, this makes sense. It makes sense. And then come the point where it's not a point of return. It was Poland. Okay, and then we have World War II on the fallen. Beside of this, who invaded with Germany, Poland? It was of the other side different power too. It was Soviet Union. Just you remember this too. But this is the point what you can bring it. You need to bring it. This is not okay, invaded other countries, because he's a Englishman, okay? And the people understand him really good because he's for England, they have the appeasement, and Churchill was this guy who say, no, we need to fight now the Germans and not give up, and was Dunkirk were fucked up, the English, and Churchill have bring the people together to say, no, we're fighting again, we are fighting, we need fight to have freedom in the end of the day. And this is the right way. You need to bring the people why you fight, not why these are fucking the assaults. No, bring the people why you need fight against these monsters, so there are no more. I know our generations are not know about war, because we have now real war. We have the last time it was real on World War II, but we are now so close on real war again, on World War, so loud. But the point is, the peacemen bring us to World War, and we need to have really strong Moscow to bring the Russian down on the ground. Say just the Russians say, yeah, we are shooting atom weapons too. Yeah, we can too, and we're putting now this on Lithuania even. You're not now we're returning this shit. Return your troops, or we're putting the atomic weapons to Lithuania right now. You have now 1 week to respond. When we not receive a response, then happen this. And then happen this. Not say, we're waiting 1 week, the sanctions, something like that. Fucking hard one. Hit it. Make it what you say it, really truth, and not say, next week now, it's not working really good. Maybe we can talk better with Russian. The Russian need first have respect for the Western, and this is the best way to bring the Russians, as the Moscow's people, in a defensive position. This is what you need to do it.
Oh, Turkey invaded Cyprus.
I'm not talking about Turkey.
And you are saying that everyone here in the European Parliament that is collaborating with Turkey and will have good diplomatic ways, they are also will go with Hitler.
I'm not talking about Turkey or the other MEPs. I haven't investigated anybody else. I've just been looking at your
So
content.
you're just selective. You're just taking a topic. You don't see the big picture. So Turkey invaded
that's
my
you about
country,
this.
Cyprus.
I'm not talking about
It's the
Turkey.
same
I'm not
thing.
talking about it.
So everyone here that has diplomatic
This is now the typical Russians who say, yeah, the Americans would cheat and something, yeah. Then you're just talking, so, okay, you know about the Holodomor? The most people don't know about Holodomor. Holodomor was 7 million people in Ukraine who die on hunger, so the people have no food, okay? This is a Russian, as a Moscow really big war crime. This is why people from Bandra, the band, was have a sympathy with the Nazis at the time, because the problem was they lose many people before. Okay. Then was the invasion of Poland. The 22 shoot officer were the Moscow kill, because they are not they are dangerous for the regime. So everybody who can be dangerous, he killed immediately. Then what you can do it is Finland, the invasion of Finland. Yeah, they pay for that. No, so you can fight. And what is for the women who are touching from the Russians, from the Red Army? Okay, from the German was 2 million women who are how say sex involuntary, but yeah, they are forced to have sex without agreement. And this is what the story is. Sorry for my English in this moment, but yeah. This is the point. And then you can go, this is the war about what was after the beginning of the Cold War, the annexation from Moldova, what is the march in Prague, what is the march in Budapest and Bucharest, something like that. So you bring the Russian in defensive. You need just to bring, look, these are not better like the Nazis, because they never pay for the shit what he did.
ties with Turkey in the European Parliament, and they want to continue collaborating with Turkey. They should go and work with. They are siding also with Hitler.
Why do you think I'm not doing investigations about other people? I'm talking about you, not other MEPs, and I'm not talking about anybody else. I'm here to talk about you. But you seem to skirt around every single one of my questions. You don't really want to answer about the kidnapped children. And I've asked you, in Ireland they speak English. Should Britain take Ireland? I mean, this is your logic.
I said it's not only that. There is a lot of things, a lot more deeper root cause that I explained you.
But you don't want to go there and find out the truth, right? You just want to go to Russia instead while they launch missiles.
My friend, like I believe what I believe with the information that I had and the research that I had. Do I have the right to believe something different than you?
Yeah, but you should be held accountable.
Okay, you are holding me accountable. You are doing your research.
Why do you think that...
And I have the right to believe what I believe.
It looks like you've decided what you want to believe before any of this happened.
We are both doing our jobs. Cool.
Okay, I think that this is not really working because you're skirting around everything that I'm saying. You're saying that there are two truths when there isn't. And it looks like you're just going to continue to do this. Are you going to continue making anti-Ukraine propaganda and pro-Russian propaganda for the next few months? What are you going to do?
I will do whatever I want.
Your comments are overwhelmingly negative right now.
And that's what my mandate is. I will exercise my mandate however I believe is good.
Overwhelmingly, the comments on all of your videos across platforms are incredibly negative right now. People who support Ukraine, people that support democracy. Why is that?
Because you make a video, you mobilized your community, and now write everybody more comments on his videos. This is how it is. That's how it is. So this is not work, man. When you're looking the video left and right, nobody write there one comment. I'm sure negative about fairness. It's a typical tactic. Sorry, Robertson, you need to have real tactics, and this is typical journalistic work where we have sometimes the shit because the pro-Russians coming stronger, because you're putting the all-time in pressure, this is so bad. You need winning the small conversation, not to cry like a child. Sorry. This is the way where you try to make the interview. You have one moment where you're fucking strong in the last part of the interview where you really talk. This is what you need more. Fight him with arguments against him with the war crimes what the Russian did. So it's a fucking defense. That's why maybe I make the live stream here, so people can understand it. I hope you see it and take this critics in a good way. Robertson, I respect you. You make really amazing work. And finance, this is what he makes strong. And this is you attacked him in the wrong way.
I'm not sure. You should read more my comments.
I do right now on Twitter and on TikTok.
You
Overwhelmingly,
should read
people.
more my comments.
And when I made a video saying I was investigating you, a lot of people were pretty happy about it because people have been pretty disgusted with what you've been putting out. You say that you're representing people, but the only people you're representing are in the Kremlin.
Cool, my friend. I don't have a problem with people being mad. I'm immune to people disliking me. I don't mind people disliking me. I don't mind people being angry with me. I don't care. I want to do what I believe is true, whatever the consequence. And you think that I didn't know going into this topic that I will have people like you, people in the parliament against me. But I do what I believe it's true, and I act with actions, and this is what...
Well, you don't, because you don't want to go to Ukraine. So you don't put it into actions. You go to Russia.
I told you, I already went to you.
Thanks, Wolf. This is to Holodomor, so you can read it directly, the information. Wolf, you make really a famous work. Thank you for this.
Ukraine, and...
Before the invasion.
And I am talking with other MEPs. We're already discussing to do a trip to Ukraine. We're a bit afraid to do this, but we are trying to see and look into it.
Okay, well, I look forward to seeing you actually go to Ukraine and find out the truth. And then finally, do you condemn Russia for what they did in Ukraine? Do you 100% condemn what they did?
Yes, I condemn the invasion. I'm not happy with it. I don't agree with the invasion. I think it's a mistake.
Have you got any more trips to Moscow lined up?
Strong point of from Nancy say no. It's a mistake, the invasion. Yes. And this is the point where you can really fight him. When I maybe interview with him, I try it. I do not know where I arrive at, but I try it, make an interview with Hernandez and say, and starting with that, you agree is a big mistake of Russia, the invasion? Yes. So you started. You think Bucha is terrible and something where Russia need really say sorry for this? And this, yes, because he cannot say no. Because when he say yes in this moment, he's an asshole because he legitimized a fucking big war crime. For 458 people died. So you need to fight against these Russian assets when you also like it. My side is more a peacemaker guy, but is a Russian asset in this way a little bit too. This is the best way. Just bring him say yes, yes or no. He cannot give an answer. So it's a really in defense and everybody knows, and you win all this conversation. And this is the biggest defeat. It's more dangerous. It's more dangerous to say you do something wrong. I know that. Nobody cares. Everybody cares about arguments in this moment.
I'm not sure. I tried to get an interview with Lavrov, the foreign minister of Russia, but also I tried.
What the hell is that going to do? Speaking to someone like Lavrov.
Also, I have an interview lined up also with the foreign minister, the ex-foreign minister of Ukraine.
So more Russian propagandists
of Ukraine as well,
like Lavrov. Okay,
so,
excellent.
But I'm doing also with you, and he agreed, and we just need to find the time. The ex-foreign minister of Ukraine, and he's willing to talk with me. So I'm trying to understand both sides. I'm trying to move towards a more diplomatic solution instead of continuing the war for thousands, hundreds of thousands of people.
Well, you should put your money where your mouth is, and you should put your words into actions. You should go to Ukraine and you should start putting out content that's actually useful.
I'm talking to you. I'm trying to we're trying to arrange for me to interview the ex-foreign minister of.
And I'm putting my content from my side, I put into action because I go in 11 days, I go to Ukraine, okay? So can you show Odessa what happened there every day? We have, thank you for the community as much as possible. And I thank you from my side, really a big one. And this is what I want to show you. I want to show what is under attack, what every night is in Odessa, how is the life there, so you more understand it what happened in Ukraine and in Odessa, because it's the city was one of the most attacked every day, okay? And the most from the Garand 2 and the Garand drones and Shade drones that fly there every day, and sometimes cruise missiles and ballistics missile too. It's really dangerous, but I think it's content what we needed to show you that this is the truth.
Of Ukraine, and also we're looking into going to Ukraine.
I think this is done.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, the interview is closed and really quickly close it, okay? But from my point of view, thank you for watching my live stream, okay? We have now 11 o'clock, and I think we make tomorrow again a live stream. I haven't looking what, but I think this was a really interesting point to show with the people in the world what this interview been, what is the altitude of this. Can you write a little bit what you think about this? But yeah, I'm waiting 1 minute. You can write your comments inside. And just say real quick, yeah, I won't say something, then I wait quick, but when I'm nothing here, then I say from my side, good night and good evening. Thank you for watching. You'll see me next time tomorrow, and we will make it, yeah, I want you show more about the trip to Ukraine and what happened.
Let's set the record.
Happened there, okay? So we go now off the intro, the end of the interview and the live stream. Thank you for watching again, and after the intro is over. But when you want writing something quick, write me clear in the comment, then I can react it, okay? When nothing see it, then it's good night.
It's straight. There's no argument over the choice between peace and war, but there's only one guaranteed way you can have peace, and you can have it in the next second. Surrender. Admittedly, there's a risk in any course we follow other than this, but every lesson of history tells us that the greater risk lies in appeasement. And this is the specter our well-meaning liberal friends refuse to face, that their policy of accommodation is appeasement. And it gives no choice between peace and war, only between fight or surrender. If we continue to accommodate, continue to back and retreat, eventually we have to face the final demand, the ultimatum. And what then? Well, Nikita Khrushchev has told his people he knows what our answer will be. He has told them that we're retreating under the pressure of the Cold War, and someday, when the time comes to deliver the final ultimatum, our surrender will be voluntary, because by that time, we will have been weakened from within spiritually, morally, and economically.
So, from my side, good night. Thank you all for watching, and everybody who watching to the end. And yeah, we see you tomorrow to the next live stream. Have a good night.